Welcome back to our Illinois Made series. Today we're at Church Street in Itasca, a local brewery. I'm super excited. Let's go in and check it out. We're gonna try a bunch of beers and we're gonna hear about the brewing process and see how this small business, 13 years later, now employs 20 plus people in Illinois. Which one are you trying?
The Oktoberfest.
Nice. We're here at Church Street with Amanda. Thanks for having us.
Hi.
This is part of our Illinois Made series where we check out local businesses, help promote them. You're actually part of Illinois Made, which is a separate application process. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, so you have to be nominated, and Lisa has been open with Church Street since 2012 and continuing to grow. Our anniversary is on the 13th, and so you have to be an Illinois maker, you have to have all these different criteria, but we're born and raised in Illinois, and she's continuing to produce Illinois Made.
Awesome. So we started this series, Illinois Made. I'm a small business owner. We like to get out and meet other Illinois made small businesses, and you guys are family owned, woman owned, and
veteran owned.
Yeah, so tell me, how did all this start?
So Lisa and Joe started Church Street. It was supposed to be in Addison on Church Street. The building ran through, just wasn't meant to be. And they are from Itasca, almost 40 years now, and they found this gem of a place. There is no Church Street in Itasca, so we are Church Street.
I love it.
Yeah.
So when did things get started, and how big are you now? Like how have things progressed over the years?
Joe's vision of Church Street was to produce Helles and Helles only. It's a light lager, German-based. Helles means light in German, and that's his favorite beer. And it just kept progressing. They came out with maybe 2 or 3 beers to start off with, and now we produce almost 40 plus, including a THC beverage that started about a year ago. Joe retired. He was a chemical engineer and created the brew system, and Lisa took over, and her youngest son came in 2020 to be our head brewer, and he's rocking it.
Totally.
And then Steven is our veteran. He's still in the reserves as well for Army, and he, puts us into where we need to be, and still does Army stuff.
I like that. I read online, or I was listening to your podcast, which was awesome.
Yeah.
You said you filmed that, so.
No, the Crafty Brewers, they're awesome. They asked if they could come in. They picked the hottest day. It was about 100 degrees. But we had a lot of fun with it, and Sean's a great educator when it comes to explaining how the brew process goes. I try to fill in and just make it look pretty.
Got it. Someone went to West Point. Did I hear that? Who was at West Point?
That's Steven.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had just mentioned, was it Joe who was the?
Joe was the chemical engineer. That's their dad.
Right.
Yep.
And so the story goes, he was impossible to buy gifts for.
Yep.
Someone got him
a little brew system at home, a home brews, and started producing the beers that he wanted, and that was too small for him.
Nice.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Here we are.
How many employees? 20?
We have over
plus?
20.
Okay.
Full-time, probably about 15. It's family run, the Gregor family, and then my family is also a part of this, which I'm very fortunate. My brother's the cellarman. He started about 11 years ago, and I started about 5 years ago.
Nice, congrats.
Yeah.
I know nothing about brewing beer.
Yeah.
I like beer. I love beer. What are we drinking here today, by the way?
You have the Hefeweizen.
Yep.
That is our traditional Hefeweizen. So you're going to get that clove, a little bit of banana feel to it. We also do a version of that with a touch of mango. So it has this beautiful color, a little bit more on that summertime feel.
Yeah.
And then I'm drinking the Itasca Fest Marzen. It's a amber lager. It's true to form. We're very, very blessed to have Itasca here, and when they do their Itasca Fest, which is like an Oktoberfest, we showcase this in our Heavenly Helles.
What other, speaking of their Oktoberfest, other sort of community events, tell me how Church Street is out in the community. What are you guys doing?
Oh, we do so much with Itasca and Wooddale too.
Okay.
So the last 2 years we've been helping out with Wooddale with their fests. Their Prairie Fest has been absolutely amazing. We do and showcase at their Sounds of Summer. They do a blues and brews kind of thing, and that's a lot of fun. And then with Itasca, recently we just teamed up with them to do our Bach. It's a traditional Bach. It has that maltiness flavor, and you always have goats. Usually when you talk about Bachs, it's...
You have what?
There's goats, like on the can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, where are we going with the goats?
But no, we did a collaboration because they had goats in the nature center
That's cool.
for conservation of a overgrown invasive buckthorn, and they had them there for a couple of months, and proceeds to that actually helped the nature center and make Itasca what it is.
That's great.
Yeah.
You have a couple locations. We're in your location in
We're in the
Itasca.
front. Yep.
Okay.
We're in the main location of the brewery, but we're in the very front. We call it the Steeple. It's our daytime depot / private event space. We're open Monday through Friday up here, noon to 4, and then when they're done with production in the main tap room, we open that, and so does the kitchen. And then on the weekends, this is a private event space, and everything's open over there. Barley House, we opened about a year ago. It's our little pub in Hamilton Lakes, next to the West End, literally 5 minutes down the road. Same beer, different food. That's open Monday through Friday, and then we also Tuesday through Friday have our seasonal beer garden, which is like their patio.
Where can someone go? I saw online the menu of food. It looks awesome, but the
Yeah.
thing that jumped out to me were those pretzels.
The pretzels are here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep, the Bavarian style pretzels. We make our beer cheese, our own mustard. You can also get some sandwiches and pizzas here too.
Awesome.
Yeah. Over there it's like more of chicken sandwiches on the grill. We have burgers, we have fries, tots. Yeah.
That all sounds really
It's all
good.
really good, yeah.
If someone wanted to come in and get some beer to go
Yeah.
or order online,
Yeah.
how do people?
You can do both.
Perfect. Tell us about that.
Walk right in.
Okay.
We have majority of all of our beers in 4-packs. Unless it's a very small batch, you can get a growler or crawler. 32 ounces is the little crawler, and then 64 ounces is the growler.
Do you guys have any plans on expanding, going to different locations, or?
Right now, we're making sure that this is good, but our expansion's more going to be with our beer. We just got into Kenosha. We want to venture more into Wisconsin. And then we kind of want to go more south of Illinois too. We're in Bloomington and parts of Champaign,
Okay.
but kind of hit it all around.
What I've noticed with breweries, which I think is awesome, so in my industry, things are very competitive and cutthroat.
Yeah.
And I feel like with breweries, it's the total opposite, where you come on the scene
Yeah.
and people are collaborative, they want to
Yeah.
work with you, they want to promote your business, even
If
though...
they do well, we do well.
100%, which I
Yeah.
love that. So tell me some other breweries you've worked with, or how does that work? Because once again, my
Yeah.
industry is crazy competitive and cutthroat, and
Yeah.
I love seeing like the collaborations and people working with each other. And like you just said, if you're doing well and I'm doing well, it's
Yeah.
all great. So
Because, I mean, we not only make beer together, we're also a contract brew here too. So our system is huge. We can make a very large batch, where other breweries are a little bit smaller production. So when they want a bigger production and get into retail space of like Binny's, you have to have a bigger inventory, and that's where we help. We have about 10 different breweries that we contract throughout the year.
Okay.
But then there's also collaboration beers that we do. So we just recently did one with the Guild of the Beer Society, and we do Pink Boots Society, which I'm a part of, which is amazing. There's different chapters to it, but it's women in the brew environment.
Okay.
Whether you're a brewer, promoter, taproom manager, schlepping the beers, you have your say, and we're a part of that, which is awesome.
And that's called Pink Boots?
Yeah, Pink Boots Society.
Okay. Different types of collaborations that you've done with other beer companies. How does that work?
Usually it's fun because, especially for the brewers, you learn different brew systems, whether it's at our facility versus at their facility. It helps us get into different markets, maybe brew like a hype beer that we really don't touch base on, or vice versa. We've done collaborations with, over 15 different breweries. Our most recent one, we've done Pollyanna. They have multiple locations, but we did the Rose Lair, which is in our neighbor Roselle.
Okay. Every single brewery I've heard of, it always seems like they start small, they grow, they expand, and everything takes off. People are always willing to collaborate, help, and it's to me, it's wild. There has to be some growing pains. I feel like every brewery,
that's constant.
Okay.
And that's with growing, that's with sustaining,
right?
Knowing the market and where that's going. It's a little bit different. People aren't going out as much. So we've really tried to get people to come more and then take it home if you want to be home later.
Right.
So we do Mondays here, we do a trivia with anti-normal trivia. Wednesdays we have
anti-normal trivia?
Yeah, that's their little shtick. That's what they're called.
What is anti-normal trivia?
It's their production.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So we have them on Mondays here. And then they also do music bingo on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And then we like changing up the rhythm here. And so Thursdays through Sunday, we have live music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Thursdays is open mic. So bring your voice, your instrument, and you get a 15-minute set. And then we have local bands Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's great.
Yeah.
And coming in, which I think is so interesting because we're in a very industrial area.
Yep.
And I read on the website how hundreds of people come in here and it's at the end of the industrial street.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's insane. We're a hidden gem. So
exactly. Were you nervous? Not in a million years coming down the street, you'd be like, oh, we're going to go to this awesome brewery.
Well, when they first started, it was just a production site. So they really didn't think of having the taproom focus, and that has evolved throughout the years, which is fun.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I'll show you where it started and how we've grown to have this whole entire building.
Which is a perfect segue. So we're going to go see.
Yeah.
We'll talk to one of the.
Hopefully, I can get one of the brewers. If not, our Chuck. He's very informative. They're brewing right now, so I don't know what process they're in. But Chuck is our administrator, head brewer. He kind of retired.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go see if he'll tell us a thing or two?
He's fun.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we are what's called a living brewery. We constantly brew, not only for our products, but for others. And that's a lot of waste if you just take the grain and throw it away.
Right.
Not only is it wasteful, but it's expensive just to throw that away. Why not partner up with some farms and feed their cattle? So once this beautiful thing is full, they come and they pick it up and they distribute that to their cattle, their pigs, and feed them. And we aren't wasteful. We're helping the planet as well and helping the cattle.
And so that's fully sustainable then, right?
Yep,
That's awesome.
yep.
What is inside of there? Like,
That's
what is
the spent grain. So
Okay.
that all the byproduct of the beer,
Okay.
they dump right in there, and then once it's full, we get a brand new one to fill up again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're here with Chuck, former long-term head
brewer.
brewer. Okay. Sort of trying to retire. Tell me.
Yeah, I'm semi-retired, so I work Wednesdays through Fridays now, like 9 o'clock to 3:30.
Okay.
So that's pretty good for me. So I'm just still doing a lot of the administrative stuff that the head brewer normally would do. So that way, Sean, who's Lisa's son, Lisa's the owner. Sean's now the head brewer, and he gets to do more of the brewing activities, not so much of the administrative stuff. So,
When did you start here?
you know, I think it was 2013, and I was just doing festivals back then.
Okay.
And then I started working the tap room, and then I started, at some point we had some turnover in personnel, so I went over to the production side. And I'd been homebrewing for a long time, so that's really where I needed to be, you know. But it's good to learn the whole business, you know, doing the festivals, working the tap room. That way, you know the whole business for the most part.
So I don't know. I love beer, but I don't know much about the production side. So we got a tour. I mean, it's a massive facility. It's really cool, and that big grain bin
Yeah,
outside.
our silo,
It's all,
yeah.
the silo is awesome. So tell me about the production. How does it work?
Well, you know, it takes a while to make beer. It doesn't, you know, sometimes people want to know if it's ready yet, and you know, we just brewed it, so it's going to take. It takes a little while. You know, it'll take 3 weeks for an ale. It'll take 6 weeks for a lager, usually in general, from the beginning, from start to finish, from start to when it's packaged. And so, but basically, what we're doing is we're just making food for yeast as brewers. Is really what we do.
Okay.
And there's very specialized yeast that we use. These yeast, a lot of them came from Germany. Most lager yeast all came from the Carlsberg Brewery back in 1883. Finally, they came out with their first strain. Most lager strains come from that one strain. But there are lots of other, of course, a lot of ale varieties. So yeast is like a big, about 50. People don't realize this, but about half your flavor components in beer come from yeast. So it's kind of a big part, a big ingredient. Then the rest of it is just whatever varieties of hops that we want to use, and there's an endless variety of hops now, and they keep coming out with new ones each year. So, which is interesting. So you get to try new things. Grain, of course, there's a lot of variety in grain too.
So start to finish, what I'm drinking here, I'm drinking the Kama Sutra I'm drinking here. So tell me, start to finish, what's the process like? And this, by the way, is awesome. It's really good.
That's, well, first of all, it's a beer, so you can just start with the basic process of taking the grain, the barley. We use barley because it has the right amount of proteins to starch. It's like they call it a starch protein matrix. And you know, the proteins, a lot of them are enzymes, and the enzymes break down the starches in the seed, which happens in all seeds. Anyway, but with this particular barley seed, once it germinates, we stop it right there. That's the malting process. We don't even malt barley here. Somebody else, that's a different specialty. We have maltsters that do that. But anyway, but once we get that barley, we continue the process. And what we're trying to do is, most yeast like to eat sugar and convert it into ethanol. And that's what we're trying to do here. So we're trying to give it, the kind of sugars that it wants. It doesn't like every kind of sugar, it just likes certain kinds, the simpler sugars. So anyway, we can make the beer sweeter or drier depending on what kind of sugars we give it. And we control that by the temperature that we cook the mash at.
Okay.
If we cook the mash at 156 or 158, we're going to get sweeter beers. If we cook the mash at 145, we're going to get beers that are a little drier. So those are things that we start at the beginning. And then once the beer has fermented out, we brew it, and then it goes into a fermenter, and it starts producing CO2 and starts fermenting. And towards the end, if it's a fruited beer, we'll take puree. We just did that now with one of our sours, and we'll move puree into the fermenter. The yeast will wake up and ferment that out as well, because there's sugars in that. So any of these fruit-based beers that you're drinking, that's what we've done.
Okay.
And then now some fruited beers are not fermented all the way out. So sometimes we will do that for certain customers, and then we'll have to pasteurize that. In other words, we'll have to, after we get it in the can, we'll have to heat it up for a little bit to kill off the yeast and anything else that's in there. So some of your fruited beers will be pasteurized, some will be fermented out.
It's a real science.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to a lot of things, like you have to pay attention to the pH, for instance.
Okay.
You don't want to can anything with a pH over 4.5. So usually we like to start the brewing process at a pH of around 5 or 5.2. And then as it ferments out, the pH naturally, the yeast lowers the pH as it goes along. So
Okay.
That's another thing to pay attention to.
How did you get started in all of this?
A long time ago, a friend, my roommate, just said, hey, we're going to brew some beer. And this was back when Jimmy Carter passed the law saying it was legal to homebrew again. Because after Prohibition, during Prohibition, it was legal to homebrew. It was legal. You could do it and people did it. After Prohibition, homebrewing became illegal. But the big boys didn't want, we had inadvertently started a new hobby for everybody, and now all of a sudden, like the big brewers are like, no, don't do that. We got to. A lot of them got through Prohibition by making malt extract that people would use to brew with. Anyway, so once it became legal again in the 80s, we just went ahead and made some beer. Very basic instructions, and it came out okay, but it was clear I needed to do a little more research, and so I joined a homebrew club, and then I went to the beer judge certificate program, and then from there I went through Siebel, and so my education just kind of went on and on, and eventually my hobby became my job.
Right. That's a wrap on our Illinois Made series at Church Street in Itasca. This Illinois business is women, military, and family owned. We had such an awesome time. You have to check this place out for awesome beer, good vibes, and really good food.